All right, we'll get started. Hello, I'm Mrs. Swanson. I am the school counselor at Shakopee High School, and I am joined by a very special guest, Ms. Mendez McConkey. She is here to talk to us about four-year state colleges, why those are a great option, and then specifically, you work at MSU in Mankato, and so hoping you can talk a little bit about that as well. But let's start out with just talking about four-year colleges, four-year state colleges, and why they have so many great opportunities for students and why students should consider them for life after high school.
Yeah, so happy to be here. Like you said, four-year state schools are a great option to consider. We do have 7 in the state of Minnesota, Minnesota State University Mankato included. And the nice thing about those is they work really well together. They're all part of what we call the MnSU system. So a lot of times when you're taking PSEO courses, you're doing them through a MnSU college. So those credits transfer in really nicely into state institutions. Also, you're going to generally see a little bit lower cost of tuition without sacrificing quality. So we have a lot of great programs, a lot of great opportunity, and really just really easy to transfer into, whether you start with us or transfer in through one of our community colleges. So a lot of great options.
Wonderful. And so I know MSU, you had mentioned partnerships specifically with, four-year college and things like that. But you also have some partnerships with two-year colleges, right? Where students can start at a two-year college and even finish. I think even Normandale, you might have an agreement with where you can finish some even four-year degrees. I don't know. Can you talk more about that? I'm even confused about what that opportunity is for students.
Yes. So several kind of formal partnerships, including Normandale. We have our South Central Community College, which is also located in Mankato. There's a Fairmount campus as well. And so some of the program, really just depending on what program you're looking at. For example, dental hygiene. We have students who come in and start their dental hygiene at a 2-year institution and then come with us to finish and get their 4-year. Same with nursing. We have a nursing pathway where students can start and get their associate's degree and then come and complete their bachelor's program with us. Or even if you just start with your gen eds in a community college, we're a lot of times able to take those in and really get you going without losing a lot of time in most of our degree options. So that's pretty common that we have partnerships in place. Again, that MnSU system makes transferring credits really easy. And a lot of times, again, for those specific programs, there's many that have gone before you. So it's a pretty smooth system.
So if someone is interested in those programs, do they contact you? Do they contact your partner institution? Or where do they start to find out, even if that is an option for our students?
Yeah, so it kind of depends. We're happy to take students. We answer questions all the time. But if you know that you'd like to start off in a 2-year institution, I recommend reaching out to them and getting a feel for their program. And then you can also reach out with us just to see how your credits are going to transfer in and see if there's any additional resources we can provide. But the partnership really makes it really nice. So we really are working together as institutions to make sure you're getting the information you need. But when in doubt, reach out to an admissions officer, whether it's someone like me at MSU or an admissions officer. They have a couple different names. Sometimes it's admissions counselor, sometimes it's representative enrollment, but all of us are here to help you with that. So if we don't have the answer, we're really good at passing you on to a friendly colleague or coworker, whether in our institution or another, that can help you get to where you need to go.
That's so nice. And just touching on that support, I assume that because our students would need to move away from home, most likely they're not going to drive an hour and a half to and from class every day. But what sort of supports do you have in place to make sure that students are successful once they start college?
Yeah, so I always like to say success at college takes place both inside and outside of the classroom. So if we're ignoring everything that takes place outside of the classroom, we're not really doing what we need to do to help you succeed. So apart from the academic resources, we have tutors. We can help you facilitate study groups. We also have other opportunities to help you. Get used to living on campus or to help you form a community with learning communities, for example. or even just student groups to help you make new friends. There's a ton of opportunities to make new friends, because I think that's the biggest question we get is, how am I going to meet people? What am I? There's a lot of opportunities to make friends and to get involved. We also do have some of the basic resources needed, like MSU, for example, has an on-site dental clinic, pharmacy, and those kinds of things that you're going to need, and recreational facilities, on-site dining, really just a lot of resources. And don't be afraid to ask. Chances are, if you have a question, someone else has asked that question before you. So not only do you get to know the answer, but then you can be a resource for the next student who has that question as well.
That's a really good point. I think we get caught up. We're so nervous that we're the only one that has this problem and don't want to ask the question. So I think that's a really good point to make, that most likely if we have the question, someone else has asked it before us or thinking the same thing, and really we can be a resource for others. So that's great. Now you're specifically at MSU. Approximately how big is MSU? How big is Mankato? What do you have to offer that our other state universities don't have?
Yeah, so that's one thing that actually a lot of our students do comment on, is the size. So we have just under 15,000 students when you take in our student population, including our international students and our lower population of graduate students. Now, I am a graduate from MSU. If you would have told me that there are 15,000 students on campus, I don't know if I would have believed it, because it very much feels like a small community. I very much felt like I knew a lot of the people that I went to class with. I rarely walk through campus without knowing someone. So 15,000 is the number, which is great opportunity-wise. It allows us to have a variety of opportunities and resources available. But I think that we've done a really nice job of making it still feel like a campus. So you're not just a number, but you're very much part of a small community.
That's nice. I think everyone hopes that you have that you're not just a number when you pay, for that education after high school. So I think that's wonderful. Now you mentioned international students. Can you talk more about the diversity and the different types of experiences and things you'll just be exposed to at MSU Mankato?
Yeah. So, in terms of population, about a quarter of our students are students of color, coming from a variety of backgrounds. So that does include our international student populations, and it includes our minority populations. There's really a lot of great opportunities. I came from a small town, so it was fun to know that when I was an international relations major. So it was extremely helpful for me to be taking classes with students who were representing different cultures and countries that we were studying. I found that really helpful. And just having made friends, especially international students, one thing that had come up too is the resources available for them. There's a lot of groups on campus. We have different support groups. We have different kind of activities to get involved in. We have an intercultural student center. We have 4 main student groups that offer different support to different student populations as well. And really, no matter your background, there's a place for you to fit in. And there's most likely going to be someone who has a similar experience to you and can kind of relate to you in that way. It's just kind of a matter of getting connected, and really the great thing is we can all benefit from learning from each other. That was something that I really enjoyed, is going to South Asian night that used to happen every year on campus. It's a little different during COVID. Hopefully it'll come back. I'm sure it will. But just having the opportunity to make so many different friends and to learn so much, what I think is really beneficial for all of our students.
Right. And you have a pretty big study abroad program too, right? So that if students are interested in traveling to another country and learning that culture and really being immersed in all of that knowledge and opportunity, they have that at MSU as well, right?
Yes, yep. So we have a ton of wonderful options on however you decide to do it. So we have programs that are directly through MSU that fit right in with a course that really a lot of the transfer work is taking care of. Even to if you want to do study abroad, but they don't quite have the opportunity that you're looking for, you can do independently. I probably did the most independent route you can take, where I enrolled individually in the Dominican Republic for a semester, and they were still wonderful to work with me. I had a plan in place before I left, so I knew my credits were going to transfer in. I knew how they were going to transfer in. So if I can make that work, I can only imagine how seamless the programs that are actually through the institution work. And if it's an opportunity available for you, I highly recommend it. But yeah, there's great support. It can seem scary, but more often than not, before you even get on the plane, you know what you're getting into, you know how it's gonna all transfer back in. So they really try to make it as accessible for students as possible.
That just sounds so great. I mean, it sounds like there's just so many things available to students. They just need to take advantage of that and advocate for themselves and ask questions and things like that. So if a student likes what they've heard today, what do they do? What do they need in order to apply to be admitted to MSU?
Yeah. So I would say, it's never too early to start checking us out. So whether you're in ninth grade or you're graduating this year, our website is a wonderful resource. We have a lot of great information. I almost always recommend just using the search tool and to search what you're looking for, or just explore our majors and careers, check out the classes. You can also see what kind of activities are happening. So that it's never too early to start that. Now, as you're getting closer and you're getting a little bit more serious about, yep, maybe MSU is for me, maybe consider coming to visit us on campus. So we do have opportunities available right now to come on campus with a tour. A lot of times we'll connect you with a current student who will be there to answer questions, to show you around. And if you decide that, yes, this is for you, you've already done the tour, our application is online, and it's not too late. So if you're still looking towards, maybe you're a senior this year and still haven't quite made your decision, there is still time to apply, and definitely still time to get everything you need to get started with us in the fall.
And is there financial aid available at MSU? Do many of your students get financial aid if they're worried about cost, especially during the pandemic, worried about the cost of their education after high school?
Absolutely. And in fact, I do like to say that over 90% of our students do utilize some form of financial aid. So there are processes in place to help you with that. A lot of times that starts with the FAFSA. So whether you have done that, or not, we're happy to help with that as well. Our Student Financial Services is an excellent resource. Again, our website is a great resource to see kind of not only what your tuition is going to cost, but you can also kind of check out an estimated cost of living. So if you're budgeting, how that's going to work out. So you have your tuition and your housing, but then those kind of costs that you maybe don't always think about when you're living away from home, you can get estimates for those as well. And then also scholarships. So if you are, especially for those in ninth grade, we work with a program called Raise Me. I'm not sure if you use that or not, but you can start that in ninth grade, and you can be continuing to add items up through halfway through your senior year, and that's a great way so that's kind of a program that uses micro scholarships to get money kind of added up towards your tuition. And then we also finally have a resource called the Scholarship Finder, which is a database of all our scholarships available through our university. So, my recommendation is to start early. For a lot of the freshman deadlines are in January. So, if you're a junior especially, it's a great time to start looking at those. But even for our seniors, that Scholarship Finder is still going to be a great resource, and there's still going to be new scholarships popping up all the time.
Oh, great. Thank you. Now, I think that's all of my questions. Do you have anything else that I forgot to ask about MSU? I think it's just such a great institution for students to check out. Like we talked about before we started recording, I will put the MSU website and the Minn State website as part of the description of this video, so students have a place to start. But do you have anything else you'd like to add, or anything that I forgot while we were talking?
Yeah, I think I want to say that one of our goals as an institution is to be a place for anyone who can succeed. So if we're a great institution to consider. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be so quick to write yourself off. Maybe you haven't considered college, but you might be more surprised, or you might be surprised to think that it's more accessible than you would have previously thought. And finally, don't be afraid to ask questions. That's what we're here for. We, like I said, if you have a question, more often than not, someone else has that question, and we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't make you feel comfortable when you do ask those questions. So come to us. We're here for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a part of this. And we will definitely refer students to you, to the website, if anyone is interested, and hopefully that's the case. All right. Thank you so much, and we will talk soon.
Thank you.